I think I've cracked something Marvel hasn't announced, teased, or even hinted at yet. This is purely my own theory, but the more I connect the dots, the clearer it becomes. I believe I know what the fourth trailer of Avengers Doomsday is going to look like, what it will show, who it will focus on, and most importantly, what the real stakes of this movie are going to be. In this video, I'm breaking down my prediction for the Avengers Doomsday fourth trailer and uncovering all the hidden connections Marvel has been quietly planting through the first three trailers and their last two films post-credits. Because when you line them up, something terrifying starts to emerge. This isn't just another hype trailer we're waiting for. This could be the moment where Marvel finally reveals what Doomsday is truly about and why the future of the MCU is hanging by a very thin thread. The moment I hit play on Avengers Doomsday third trailer, I felt it in my chest. Something was off. Not wrong, not messy, off in a very intentional way. Marvel wasn't just selling a movie anymore. They were planting pieces on a chessboard we couldn't fully see yet. And the more I rewatched all three Avengers Doomsday trailers back to back, the more I realized this wasn't randomness or fan service. This was a pattern, a dangerous one. Today, I want to break down a theory I haven't seen Marvel officially confirm, tease, or even hint at. This is entirely my reading of the clues. I think I've cracked what the fourth trailer of Avengers Doomsday will be like, what its real focus will be, and why the stakes are secretly much higher than any Avengers film we've seen before. And the scariest part is this. Marvel has been warning us the entire time, quietly, patiently, through the last three trailers. We just didn't realize what they were preparing us for yet. When Avengers Doomsday dropped its first trailer, most people thought it was strangely calm, almost peaceful. We saw Steve Rogers in a life that looked complete. He wasn't holding a shield. He wasn't running toward war. He was smiling, living. And then came the reveal that shook the internet. Steve Rogers has a child. That single detail flipped the entire emotional foundation of the MCU. Steve Rogers, the man who sacrificed everything, now had something to lose. I noticed how Marvel didn't explain the child, didn't show powers, didn't clarify the future. They simply planted the idea and walked away. That wasn't accidental. That was Marvel changing the stakes of the universe from saving worlds to protecting family. The moment Steve became a father, the story stopped being about legacy and started being about vulnerability. And that's when I started asking myself, why introduce a child now in a movie called Doomsday? Because children aren't symbols of hope here. They're targets. The second trailer made that idea even clearer. Suddenly, the focus shifted to Thor, but not the Thor we're used to. This wasn't the god charging into battle with confidence. This was a father praying, Thor kneeling before Odin, asking for strength not to win glory, but to defeat what he openly calls the greatest villain he has ever faced. And the reason wasn't Asgard. It was love, his adopted daughter. I noticed how the trailer framed Thor differently, hesitant, afraid, almost desperate. He talks about wanting to give love a future, a safe life, something permanent. That subtext matters. Because love isn't just a child. She carries eternity's power. Infinite, cosmic, reality-altering power. Thor knows this, even if the trailer never says it out loud. His fear isn't that he might die. His fear is that love might be taken, or worse, used. Then came the third trailer, and this is where Marvel stopped whispering and started screaming. The X-Men focus was unexpected. Brutal and emotionally heavy. We see their universe collapsing. The X-Mansion destroyed. A world ending. Magneto and Charles reunited in the middle of annihilation, standing together like old kings watching their kingdom fall. And then Scott Summers. Cyclops. The controlled leader. The strategist. The man who never loses himself. We see him break. Rage floods his face. That's not normal. That's not a random emotional beat. Something has pushed him past calculation and into desperation. I think the key lies in what the trailer never explicitly shows but heavily implies. His daughter, Rachel Summers. A child of Jean Grey and Scott Summers. A mutant who carries the Phoenix Force. One of the most dangerous powers in Marvel history. If Rachel is gone, if Doom has taken her, Scott's rage suddenly makes terrifying sense. At this point, a pattern became impossible to ignore. Steve's child, Thor's child, Scott's child. 3 trailers, 3 families, 3 children. All powerful in different ways, whether through legacy, cosmic energy, or mutant force. I don't think Marvel is building separate emotional arcs here. I think they're constructing a single narrative spine. Dr. Doom isn't just threatening worlds. He's targeting the next generation. And that's what makes this scarier than Thanos. Thanos wanted balance. Doom wants control. And in the comics, Doom is a master of stealing power. Not borrowing it, not sharing it, taking it. If these children are in danger, the Avengers aren't fighting to save existence anymore. They're fighting to save their bloodlines. This reframes the title Avengers Doomsday entirely. Doomsday isn't an event. It's a deadline. A ticking clock that Marvel keeps showing us again and again at the end of every trailer. Time is running out because Doom's plan is already in motion. I think Doom isn't attacking heroes directly because he doesn't need to. He's going after what breaks them fastest. Their children, their futures, their reason to fight. And if he succeeds, the Avengers don't just lose a battle. They lose everything they were fighting to preserve. That's why the tone of these trailers feels heavier than Infinity War. There's no humor cushioning the blow. No false confidence. Just fear hiding beneath every frame. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Marvel hasn't shown Doom clearly yet. No monologue. No grand entrance. And that absence is deliberate. Because the real story right now isn't Doom himself. It's the consequences of his actions. We're seeing the shockwaves before the earthquake. And I believe the 4th trailer will finally connect all of these shockwaves into one terrifying picture. But before I jump ahead, there's one more crucial piece of evidence hiding in plain sight. Something that doesn't come from the Avengers trailers at all, but from a different corner of the MCU that most people are treating as separate. Fantastic Four, First Steps. In the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four, First Steps, we see something that should have set off alarms immediately. Dr. Doom reaches Franklin Richards, another child. Another impossibly powerful child. Franklin isn't just strong. He's a reality-warping entity capable of creating universes. And Doom finds him. That moment changes everything. Because now we know Doom's pattern isn't theory. It's confirmed. He is actively hunting powerful children across the multiverse. And if Franklin is already on his radar, then Steve's child, Love, and Rachel Summers are not coincidences. They're a collection, pieces of a much larger design. And once I realized that, the shape of the 4th trailer started becoming very clear in my mind. I don't think the 4th trailer will open with the Avengers at all. I think it will begin exactly where Fantastic Four, First Steps ended. Doom reaching Franklin. The moment before everything goes wrong. And I don't think we'll even see Doom's face clearly. Just his presence. His shadow. His inevitability. Then chaos. The Fantastic Four searching desperately for Franklin across collapsing realities. That desperation will lead them to one place they never expected to go, Earth 616. This isn't random either. We've already seen Thunderbolt's post-credit scene showing the Fantastic Four ship entering that universe. And there was that leaked image, New Avengers standing inside that ship. Marvel is telling us the connections before spelling them out. So in my view, the 4th trailer becomes the convergence point. Not a battle trailer, a collision trailer. Fantastic Four crossing into the Avengers world, not to fight, but to warn them. Doom is coming, and he's already taken children. I think the biggest reveal won't be Doom's face or his powers. It will be the confirmation that Steve's child is gone, that love has been taken, that Rachel Summers has disappeared. The Avengers won't assemble because Earth is under attack. They'll assemble because their families have been stolen. And that emotional shift is what will define Doomsday as something darker, more personal, and more devastating than anything Marvel has done before. At this stage, Marvel still keeps one card hidden. We don't know how the X-Men fully cross over yet, and I think that uncertainty is intentional. There are rumors of Avengers versus X-Men elements in the film, and because of that, I'm not fully convinced the fourth trailer will show them united just yet. It might hold back. It might keep that tension unresolved. Because conflict between heroes makes Doom's manipulation even more effective. Divide them emotionally, then strike. And as the trailer ends, I imagine we return to that same ticking clock. Time running out. Doomsday approaching. Not because the world is ending, but because childhood itself is being erased. And that, to me, is the true horror Marvel is building toward. The ticking clock at the end of every trailer isn't just a stylistic choice. I think it's Marvel's way of telling us that the story has already begun long before the Avengers even realize they're part of it. Doom doesn't announce himself like Thanos did. He doesn't rain fire from the sky or snap his fingers. He moves quietly, surgically, targeting the future rather than the present. And this is where I believe the fourth trailer will slow down instead of speeding up. Instead of explosions, we'll get silence. The kind of silence that follows a loss you don't know how to process yet. I imagine the Fantastic Four arriving on Earth, 616, not as heroes making an entrance, but as parents searching for their child. Reed Richards isn't the confident genius here. He's frantic. Sue isn't invisible because of power, but because grief has hollowed her out. That emotional tone would instantly tell the audience this is not a normal crossover. This is a rescue mission that might already be too late. From there, I think the trailer begins weaving together scenes rather than following a single storyline. Steve Rogers sensing something is wrong before anyone tells him. Not through tech, not through alerts, but through instinct. A father's instinct. We see him rush home, the camera never showing what he finds, only his face as the realization hits. Thor, somewhere across the cosmos, feeling eternity's power slip from love like sand through his fingers. His prayer to Odin suddenly feels unanswered. And Scott Summers, already broken, realizing that Rachel isn't just missing, she's been chosen. These moments don't need dialogue. Marvel has learned that silence can be louder than exposition. And that's how the trailer keeps Doom terrifying without showing him. Doom exists in the absence, in the empty rooms, in the pauses between breaths. What ties all of this together is intention. Doom isn't kidnapping children randomly. Each one represents a different pillar of reality. Steve's child represents legacy and moral authority. Love represents cosmic creation. Rachel represents raw, uncontrollable mutation and rebirth. Franklin Richards represents reality itself. Doom isn't building an army. He's building a system, a framework that allows him to rewrite existence on his terms. And this is where Battleworld starts to feel less like a theory and more like an inevitability. I don't think Doom is trying to destroy the multiverse. I think he's trying to replace it. A single controlled reality where chaos, free will, and even heroism only exist if he allows them to. The fourth trailer, in my view, won't explain this outright. It will let Reed Richards be the mouthpiece. A single line, maybe half a sentence about Doom not stealing power but reorganizing it. That's enough to terrify anyone who understands what Franklin can do. And that's when the Avengers finally start to feel small. Not weak, but outmatched intellectually. Thanos could be punched. Doom can't. Doom's battlefield is reality itself. And the Avengers are suddenly playing defense, not offense. They're reacting, not planning. That imbalance is crucial because it sets up the emotional conflict that will drive the rest of the movie. This is also where I think the trailer teases internal fractures. Steve wants his child back at any cost. Thor is willing to burn universes if it means saving love. Reed is thinking in equations and probabilities. Scott Summers is operating purely on rage. These aren't compatible motivations. And Doom thrives in that dissonance. I wouldn't be surprised if the trailer shows a brief, tense exchange between Steve and Reed. Not a fight, but a disagreement. Save one child now or save reality later. That question alone can split heroes apart. And if the rumors about Avengers versus X-Men are true, this is the seed. Not ideology. Not politics. Parenthood. Loss. Desperation. As the trailer escalates, I think we finally get our first true visual of Doom, but not as a villain. As a ruler. A glimpse of Battle World, or at least the beginning of it. A patchwork reality stitched together from broken universes. A throne built from stolen futures. And standing before him, silhouettes of children. Not screaming. Not fighting. Calm. Controlled. That's the most disturbing part. Doom doesn't need to torture them. He needs to shape them. And that image alone would recontextualize everything we've seen so far. The clock. The prayers. The rage. It was never about stopping Doom in time. It was about stopping him before the children become something else entirely. I also think Marvel will end the trailer without a promise of victory. No heroic charge. No swelling music. Just a line. Maybe Steve. Maybe Thor. Someone saying that this time they're not fighting for the world. They're fighting for their family. And then cut to black. Avengers Doomsday. That's it. Because by the time the movie begins, Doom may already have won the first round. And that's what makes this entire setup brilliant. Marvel isn't hiding Doom. They're letting his absence speak louder than his presence. When I step back and look at all of this together, every trailer, every post-credit scene, every leaked image, it feels deliberate in a way Marvel hasn't been in years. This isn't nostalgia bait. This isn't multiverse chaos for spectacle. This is a generational story. Heroes who save the world now facing a threat that targets what comes after them. And that's why I'm convinced the fourth trailer will be the emotional turning point. Not the loudest. Not the biggest. But the one that makes you realize this story doesn't end with a battle. It ends with a choice. And that choice will define the future of the MCU. If this theory is even partially right, Avengers Doomsday isn't just another crossover event. It's Marvel asking a darker question than ever before. What happens when saving the universe means sacrificing your child? And what happens when a villain understands that question better than the heroes do? That's why Doom is different. That's why the stakes feel heavier. And that's why I believe the fourth trailer will connect everything we've seen so far into one terrifying, heartbreaking direction. This is my take, my breakdown, my theory. And if Marvel really is going where I think they're going, then Doomsday won't be the end of the world. It'll be the end of innocence. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share it with other Marvel fans, and subscribe for more deep theories like this.